Hello. So today I want to talk to you about boundaries and how, in the early stages of your spiritual awakening, or you could say your path to self empowerment, verbal boundaries are extremely necessary. Why? Because it's you putting your foot down and saying, you don't get to control me anymore. You don't get to coax me into anything anymore. You don't get to manipulate the way that I live my life anymore. So, in a sense, you could say that when you establish boundaries with people, that is allowing you to take your power back. You're utilizing your voice again. You're not quieting yourself or silencing yourself anymore. But as time goes by, you begin to realize, as long as I keep verbalizing these boundaries, I'm always going to perpetuate the fight. I'm always going to have to defend myself to somebody. I'm always going to have to protect the way that I live my life to somebody. And so that gets old after a while. It's absolutely necessary in the beginning stages, so I don't want to take away from the setting of verbal boundaries. All I'm saying is that after a while, you realize, if I have to keep fighting the people in my life, then am I in the right reality? Probably not, because you're still exerting so much effort to get through to people. The right people in your life will hear your heart. They will be emotionally intelligent and they'll understand when you don't feel like doing something. Now, obviously, people are not mind readers, which is why it's important at first to set boundaries. But if you're always harping on the same old thing, if you're always repeating these boundaries, then that's on you. It means you're probably participating in the wrong reality. You're always fighting the characters in your game rather than finally accepting yourself as you are and being who and what you are. So as you begin to mature on this spiritual path, you realize, if I'm always setting boundaries, I'm going to have to keep doing that the rest of my life. Is that any fun? No, it's a drag. So now instead, I'm going to start utilizing invisible boundaries, which means that you stop engaging with someone's energy if it doesn't float your boat. So when someone opens their mouth and they speak to you, there's so much coming out, okay? All you have to do is engage with what suits you, to engage with what feels loving. And if someone's being passive aggressive, if someone is being forceful or controlling or manipulative, you disengage from that reality altogether. You're choosing to unsubscribe very discreetly, very silently. You don't have to say anything. Silence is golden. You choose to unsubscribe from the energy that's coming off of them that doesn't sit right with you. When you do this, you're truly accepting yourself as you are, and you're starting to move in the direction of a truer reality. A reality where you don't always have to sound like a broken record, constantly repeating these boundaries. You're choosing to discreetly unsubscribe from what doesn't feel good to you. And remember, no response is a response. No response is a boundary. Or when someone is gossiping about somebody else, if you don't engage with them, if you don't jump on that train with them, then that tells them everything. They're probably going to walk away from you and be like, I feel like such a fool. I talked negatively about this person, and Phil or Samantha or Melissa or Julie or Marcus didn't engage. So your silence is the perfect mirror for people. Your silence is a boundary. When you choose to disinvest yourself from realities that feel lower to you, that feel mean to you, that feel unkind and incompassionate to you, then people get the hint. So in the beginning stage of your awakening or your path to self-empowerment, yes, you're going to have to set those boundaries because you're using your voice. You're like, see me, right? But eventually that gets tired. It gets old. And you reach a place in your life where you say, you know what? Less is more. I'm done explaining myself to everybody. I just want to be me. I don't want to fight the external world, because if I fight the external world, I'm always going to be fighting the external world. If I'm truly going to be accepted, I need to accept that being silent is my true self. that not engaging with things that are dramatic or problematic is my true self. You're not having to prove anything anymore. You're not having to justify anything anymore. You're not having to protect anything anymore. This is true empowerment. Your energy speaks on your behalf. You're broadcasting a signal that's so clear to people that they know that you're not interested. That is true empowerment. That is how people really start to respect you. When you're willing to be silent, and in that silence, you are golden. Everything is golden. You start to teach people how to show up without having to teach them. So I hope this message helped you today. I love you. Set as many verbal boundaries as you want, but just know that eventually you're going to outgrow that, and then your energy will speak on your behalf. I love you, and I'll speak to you soon.